I've become more and more interested in permaculture, and I think even more maybe, of food foresting. And I'm trying to apply these principles in our garden, even though there are some that I find harder to do and some might be a bit easier. When it comes to big trees, we have 2 linden trees, which I've really let get huge and big as possible. And I guess these are the canopy trees in our garden. I've also allowed a maple to start growing here because I want more shade of this part of the garden. And then we have 1 apple tree which will get even bigger than it is now. It's growing fairly slow, but it will probably get bigger anyway. So that's it when it comes to the big trees. We do have some more fruit trees, and I'd like to plant a few more than that, and we do have some shrubs, berries, and there might be some more of that too, but I'm focusing on the vegetable garden at the moment. I have vegetables growing in front of the house and at the back of the house, and I like to keep it a bit neat, and I do use a 4-year rotation. So I'll give you a quick description of what I grow. The first year are sweet peas and pole beans. That's the main thing. And as you can see here, there's all sorts of other things growing at the moment, and I'll try and explain later why it looks like it looks. But we do have some some sweet peas coming here anyway. The pole beans are not coming at all, and I think I might have put the seeds too far down actually, but I've got some seeds growing indoors which I'm going to put out here. The second year is more towards cabbage and such things, and what I've got in this one this year is celery and leek and kale, and in this one there's beetroot and broccoli. Third year I've got carrots, and in the front garden there's also parsnip and root parsley, and here I've also got red and yellow onions. And the 4th year potatoes, and this year I've got potatoes in 4 different rows. Some are more summer potatoes and some are autumn potatoes. Now, one principle in permaculture, as far as I understand it, and maybe it's connected with food forest as well, is to have perennial vegetables, and we do have a few, not that many, and I'm not sure I'm going to have more perennials, but there's also the self-seeding aspect. Now, one perennial is of course Jerusalem artichoke, and it's been said that once you have them you can't get rid of them, and it's quite true. This one I've planted here, but they are also coming over here with the potatoes, because I apparently didn't manage to get all the Jerusalem artichokes out of this bed from last year. And there's also one coming here, or a couple, in the potatoes, among the potatoes on the back side of the garden. To be honest, we don't eat that much of them, but the flowers are popular with insects, so I do keep them. Another perennial is of course chives, and this one I bought this spring, and planted here. I don't quite remember if I had some last year, but I think I might have, because it's also, well, it looks like self-seeded, because here's one flowering. And then there's sorrel, and I bought a plant maybe, I think 10 years ago, and that one grew, of course, where I planted it, but also self-seeded very much. These three I took out from amongst the potatoes actually yesterday and planted here, because I didn't want them to be mixed there. I wanted to be able to see where the sorrel is. So now they're in the same bed as the pole beans. And then there's rhubarb. This one we put here, it was very small then, about 12, 14 years ago, and it took some time before it got into size that was, hey, so we were able to start eating of them. We don't eat that much of this either, but I'm quite happy to have it anyway. Some of the perennials are also then self-seeding, but it's the self-seeding vegetables that I think I enjoy even more, actually. And we do have some of that in the garden. So here, in between or amongst the beetroot and the broccoli, there's some dill coming, which has self-seeded, and I always have to sort of check that it actually is dill by touching them and smelling the scent. And yes, it smells like dill, because there's another plant that looks like it, but it isn't. And that's this one. And that's called scentless mayweed, if I've got it correct. And it will grow very, very big and have white flowers. And I'm quite sure I had some of that last year. And actually, I might let this one stay here. And that's because I know that insects like the flowers. These are still very small, but that's parsnip on its way, and I've sometimes let them grow really big and go into flower, and they have also self-seeded, quite good actually. Amongst the parsnip and root parsley, there's also some self-seeded beetroot. I had beetroot in this place last year. There's another one coming there, and I think it might have been even more here if I hadn't taken the topsoil away. And then there's parsley, of course, that also self-seed quite easily, and sometimes I've sort of moved them to one place, and sometimes I just let them grow where they have self-seeded. And that's my idea right now, that I'm mostly gonna let things grow where they self-seed. And then finally, the one more vegetable, or is it maybe a fruit, that I have had self-seeding in the vegetable garden are tomatoes. Now I have the tomatoes in containers this year, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna get any more out of these, but if you do keep them in a bed, they might self-seed.